Hello there, Kanoko Rob here. If you're watching this video, that means you found the link to start a custom structure pack and you're interested in creating your own custom structures for other players to download and bring into their New in Town world. I'm going to try to make this process as easy as possible. If you already have a custom structure pack and are planning to update to the latest New in Town version that changed how site planners get checked and included all kinds of optimizations, I think it's important that you stay tuned and keep an eye on this, but there will also be some extra instructions to update more easily if you would like, that you can ask me for in the Discord. That will not be done by video, but you can basically follow along with this to get most of the file stuff changed and set up. And then anything different that you need to do to your structure, you can just go ahead and ask me. It's a very simple setup that I have here. With that said, please go ahead and follow along with the rest of the video to learn how to get the custom structure templates out, how to save everything correctly and edit all the files, and how to make sure that your custom structure pack works. First, go to your world's data packs folder and open the New in Town zipped folder. Find the custom recipe tools folder and extract it back into the data packs folder. If you see any kind of prompt or anything like that, go ahead and replace it. There's nothing else like it, so you're not going to overwrite anything. And if you look inside, you'll see it's just like a normal data pack. You can go ahead and open the data and find the namespace folder. Now you can go back into your world and give yourself a structure block with this command. Go ahead and place the structure block wherever you like. I recommend somewhere facing the positive X and positive Z dimensions, and type in the template file path that you want to follow. So namespace, :town or fortress or city, and then template. Go ahead and load it. Make sure you load it with entities on, because there are invisible entities as part of this. Make a note of the front of the structure and make sure this is where you make and build the front of your structure. You'll notice there's no bedrock underneath. That is not necessary anymore. Once you've built your structure, we can go ahead and do a couple things to make sure you're ready to save it. Make sure you have your front facing the right way. If you have any villagers, you want to make sure you tag them with the correct citizen tag. So you can add knit citizen as a tag for town villagers. And if you want your entity to do anything, make sure you tag it with knit entity as well, if you want it to use any functions that already exist as part of New in Town. Once all your entities are squared away, you can go ahead and get rid of that front side. Go down to your structure block, change the name of the file from template to whatever you want to call it. So in this case, X Tower. Make sure the include entities is still on from when you loaded it. Leave the namespace for now and hit save. Now go back into your worlds folder, go to generated, take that whole namespace file that's now inside of that and cut it. Go back into your data packs folder, into the custom recipe tools, into data, and paste it right here. It'll automatically merge with the namespace folder that's already there, which you can now rename. I recommend to your username, but it can't have any lowercase characters. Next, in your data pack folder, in your namespace, go to advancements and then into recipes. And go ahead and make a copy of the recipe structure name town template file that's right there. Paste it in and change structure name to whatever the name of your structure is, just like you saved it in the structure block. So in this case, X Tower. Go ahead and open it and you'll get a file like this. I recommend using Notepad++ just because it's easier to see things. You can edit this in Notepad, but it's going to look pretty bad. You can go ahead and change all instances of namespace that exist in this file to the same namespace that you have as your folder, so in this case my username, and then change all instances of structure name to how you want your structure to be named. For the title here, you can make it all nice and fancy, but for the function line down here, you want it to be just like you entered it into the template block and into this advancement file. Up here is where you will set the description for this advancement as it will show up in the game, and this is where you'll make your recipe visible to the player. So you're going to change all instances of item to an item that's used in the recipe, in this case deep slate and stone and oak logs. And then for each of those, there'll be a number right before. Change that to the letter that you want to represent that symbol, that item in the recipe. So in this case, D for deep slate, S for stone, and L for oak logs. And go ahead and continue for any other items that exist here, for in this case copper. And then any other lines you can go ahead and get rid of, as well as any other extra /ns that exist. Then for the rest of it, you're going to change all instances of item to that letter that you decided as the symbol for that item in the recipe, and all the quantities to a number. So in this case, I want 4 copper ingots to be in the top left, 16 oak logs to be in the middle top, and 4 more copper ingots to be in the top right. Then we can continue on and we'll see that we have 32 deep slate in the leftmost. The Q in the middle stands for the building permit. If you want to not have a building permit, you can go ahead and change that and get rid of the building permit that is included at the beginning of this line and have something different. But in this case, if you want your structure to have a building permit like this one, then you'll leave that Q alone. And then we just continue on with more deep slate, get the stone in there, and then finish off the rest of the recipe. Then you're going to come on down here and basically just match what you did up there, but you'll use the full namespace ID of all the items that are in the game. So in this case, Minecraft copper ingot to be used for the copper. And we change that quantity to 4. Make sure you leave that B that's right by the number alone. That is important. Otherwise, Minecraft will have trouble reading when a player opens a site planner that has the recipe in. So you can go ahead and continue. We have oak logs. It's just in the same order as at the top. And when it's laid out in the game, it will look like a proper grid, just like a normal recipe. So we can go ahead and continue through here. We'll probably speed through the rest of this part. Okay, and then once you finish entering the recipe exactly as you wrote it up there, you'll just go ahead and save. Now that you have your recipe advancement finished, you're going to go back to your namespace and go into the functions folder. Go to Site Planner, and then we're going to start by making a copy of the init structure name. Change that structure name to whatever the name of your structure is internally, so X Tower in this case again. We'll go ahead and open that up, and again we're going to change all instances of structure name to that same name, so in this case X Tower. You'll also go ahead and change all instances of namespace to your namespace, so again, like my username here is doing Kanokarob. Once you have that, that's all you have to do for this file, so you can go ahead and save it and close out of it. And then you're going to find the build structure name town template file, make a copy of that as well, paste it, and change that structure name to be exactly the same. You're going to leave that build part alone, just like you left the init alone on the other one. And in this one, it's a little more complicated, but you're doing the exact same thing. Change all instances of namespace to your file's namespace, so your username, in this case, Kanokarob. And you can go ahead and make this a little faster by copying and pasting. And then again, all instances of structure name, just change to the name of your structure like you saved it in your structure block. So X Tower in this case. If you want to change how your site planner checks for sites, you can go ahead and ask me how to change that line there. If you don't want your site to have nether attacks, you can erase that last line. Then you can go ahead and save. We're almost done, just a couple of finishing touches. You're going to go back to the advancement folder, back in recipes, and find this root. And this is just decorative stuff to go ahead and get your pack ready to be shown to players. So in this case, we're going to change the title of this advancement to Kanokarob's Custom Recipes, and then you can go ahead and save. You can edit this and make it a little nicer and cleaner if you want. But then you'll go ahead back out to data, back to the pack format up here. Normally that 6 is already going to be a 7. This was recorded in an older version. But this here is also just for display. It's how your pack will be shown when players are selecting the data pack. So you can change that line as much as you like, make it nice and pretty, and then go ahead and save. To finish off, you can go ahead and delete any other template files that you're not using. So anything that you didn't make a copy of, and anything that you've already made a copy of, obviously you don't want to delete the things that you've just made. But if you get rid of all of the extra advancements, all of the build and init files that you're not using, that you didn't personally create, you can go ahead and get rid of. And same with the structures in the structure file if you go back out to your namespace. The only thing that should be left is all the things that you made, plus the structure file that is saved in that structures folder under your namespace. Once you have all that, your pack is basically ready to go. You can go ahead and copy it, change its name, along with the New in Town data pack into a new world to go ahead and test it out. So to make sure everything is working, you'll go into a new world with both New in Town and your custom structure pack installed. Go ahead, give yourself an oak log or any log type to start a settlement. Use the book. And then of course you want to make sure your recipe actually works. So you'll go into creative, check your advancements, make sure the advancement's showing up. You can use this advancement to reference back to in case you don't have your recipe memorized. Grab a building permit if you need one, and use creative mode to get all the rest of the ingredients that you need. So in this case, we'll grab all the deep slate, the stone, the logs, and the copper ingots that we're going to need and put them into a site planner. And of course, like normal, you're going to right click, and there we go. Structure built fine. It'll now rotate so that front will face the front no matter what direction you build it in. Your structure fully works, and all of the entities and villagers inside will be there exactly how you saved them. And with that, your custom structure pack is complete. So you are now free to post this on Planet Minecraft. If you have any additional structures, obviously you are welcome to make more than one structure per structure pack. And you can share it on Planet Minecraft. Obviously, you want to make sure that any players that want to download it know that they'll need New in Town installed as well. So you can just post a link to that. You can also put in the description of your pack the video for introducing custom structure packs. You probably found this link to on how you found this video. And then, of course, you can also post your custom structure pack in the Custom Structures channel in the New in Town Discord, where I will go ahead and pin it. I'll give you the architect role, which is really, really cool and a great way to stand out among the crowd of the community and get that special recognition. And of course, it can also make it easier for other people to find your custom structure pack if they already know they're playing New in Town and they're looking to add some more variety. So I look forward to seeing all kinds of new structure packs come in. There's all kinds of open design space, and I'm more than willing to help out if you have a really cool idea for a custom structure that you're not sure quite how to execute just with the template files as they are. Like I said, if you want to change the way how your site planners generate, if you want to change the height that they generate at and make your own ramp structures, just go ahead and ask me in the Discord, and I'm happy to let you know and give you some tips to make your custom structure pack as awesome as you want it. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, please enjoy.